Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week, and halfway through we stop for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars, and we've spun it off. We're at number 117. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning I put a post out asking for questions. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
2025 Honda CR-V Hybrid Touring versus the 2024 Chevy Traverse LT Midnight Edition. Which is a better bang for the buck? Totally different vehicles.
Yeah, one is a 3-row, 7-passenger, and the other one is 2-row, 5-passenger.
Yeah.
One is a turbo 4-cylinder, and the other one is a hybrid.
Yeah. I think it really comes down to, look, better bang for the buck. This is American because we don't get the Midnight Edition in Canada, but just comparable. If you look at the top trim of the CR-V Touring, it's $41,000 US. And this Midnight Edition is around $41,000 US. I can't get the exact numbers because anybody who has gone on the Chevy USA website, it is not working. It has not worked, I swear, for 5 months now.
It might be that they block Canadians from seeing the U.S. I don't know why.
Let me know if you guys can get on, our U.S. viewers.
The build price?
Yes, I cannot build a vehicle on the Chevy U.S. website, but I can on the Canadian. So I'm going to say it's about $41,000 from what I can see U.S. But I think it comes down to, like, I don't want a 3-row SUV because I don't need one. Do you need a 3-row SUV? I do believe that the Honda CR-V Hybrid will have better resale value because it's a hybrid, and also because it's a 5-passenger vehicle, because many just don't need a 3-row SUV.
But I think that the Traverse, you get way more car for the money. First of all, you get 3 rows and the extra seats. It's bigger. The tech on the inside all comes standard. You get the large screens as standard equipment. It's a nicely equipped vehicle. It drives really well. We were really impressed with the new 2.5 liter turbo engine. It's quiet and comfortable. So there's a lot more there to sink your teeth into. You're paying for the Honda and the hybrid, but to Andrea's point, we'll have better resale.
And also that CR-V Hybrid, it doesn't get all the features, which is such a shame. I mean, Honda, you came out with a brand new CR-V. Why don't you add some extra features to it? Whereas the Traverse has all that. Maybe not the LT Midnight Edition, but it does come really well equipped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a way more to sink your teeth into with that one. And we really enjoyed the ride. The ride is comfortable and quiet. And if that's what you're after, actually they're both quiet. So try them out.
Hello from San Diego. As avid Porsche fans, have you done the Experience Center in LA? What's your thoughts on places like this that make the brands differentiate themselves? Have you done that? Because obviously I haven't done that one in LA.
No, I've never done the Porsche driving experience. And if you're not aware, they have like a little track that you can go around and they let you experience the cars. I even think they have a little bit of an off-road area for the Cayenne. They have a big one in Atlanta. They have one now. I think they're building in Ontario. And this is a great way to immerse yourself in the brand and kind of buy into the culture. We get invited on a slightly different program. We do the driving experiences that the road trips you can sign up for. So for example, if you're interested in driving a Boxster or a Cayman, they do these road trips that are, I think, 3 or 4 days, and you drive the different cars, and then they have world-class race car drivers as your instructors and ambassadors for the brand, and you can drive these cars. We did I've done one, the ICE experience in Quebec, which is fun. I've done other ones for the sports cars. So if you want to try it out, they're not inexpensive, but it's a great way to try before you buy.
And when we were on our trip to Newfoundland, there was a place that we stayed at, and they said that they did a Porsche experience there in Newfoundland and stopped there for the night. So that's pretty cool. I think it's a great idea, these experiences, because people who are buying these vehicles are pretty passionate about them. For example, we went and drove the Ranger and the Ranger Raptor, and there's the Ranger Raptor Assault School. And anybody who buys a Raptor, it gets to come to this assault school. I don't think they pay for
you got to get yourself
travel. You got to get yourself there, but it's a day.
so good.
And you really learn so much about the Raptor. I thought it was fantastic. I'd never done anything like that before.
So the ICE experience in Quebec is great for a couple of reasons. First of all, you're driving Porsche 911s, and I think, they're usually 911s, on ice, on studded tires, and you get to experience and learn about driving in slippery conditions to see what these cars can do. So your skill level from the beginning to the end goes way up.
Yeah.
You become a better driver. You experience the technology in the cars. The best one I ever did, though, Andrea, was Mercedes used to have an AMG winter driving program on Lake Winnipeg, and the ice circuit was 7 kilometers long.
Wow.
And you could just basically, with these all AMG cars, you go flying around one corner and then you hook up with another one, and you do that for 7 kilometers. I don't think they're doing it anymore. They have one in Finland, but boy, that was amazing.
And when we were in Tokyo with Toyota, we drove the Yaris and we drove the GR Corolla and what was the other one? Supra, and we did it around a racetrack. Anyway, that was awesome.
So we don't typically go on the consumer ones. They have
No.
special ones for us, but yeah.
Except for the Ranger Raptor one.
The Ranger Raptor one.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're an enthusiast in a brand and they offer something like that, I think it's definitely worth it, especially
sure.
for high-end. I know Ferrari has these sorts of things, so get in touch with your dealer and they can hook you up.
We all know Nissan is having their issues and struggling financially, but I've noticed there's been a glut of reviews lately and they're coming out positive. Do car brands push out their cars to the YouTube podcast community and possibly want good reviews? Well, every brand wants a good review. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. They want a good review. They don't want somebody to say something bad about their vehicle. But I have to say, we drove the Nissan Rogue. We drove, oh no, we haven't driven the Kicks yet. What else did we drive from Nissan? I guess the Armada's coming. But anyway, we did the Rogue and we did the Versa.
The Sentra. Sentra's a good car.
And we give good reviews because we actually think that their products are very good. They handle well.
Yeah, but
however,
in the review, we also say things like, well, this is a new engine. You might want to wait a little while.
and reliability is an issue. Obviously, the past with the CVT has been a massive problem for Nissan. They have improved on that. But I have to say, I do enjoy driving their models. I just worry a little bit about reliability at times.
So I have because we have Android phones, we have a Google function and it gives you a feed of all of these stories that come up. And for me, it's all automotive stuff. And I'm noticing what you're talking about. I will see reviews for cars and the headline is like this glowing headline. And I'm like, really? Because we've driven the car and it's like maybe good, but it's like, and I'm kind of wondering if I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I kind of wonder if there is some pay to play going on in the back door with some of these media outlets that might not be car outlets, but they're other outlets. Because I just see when I go on there, I'm like, I see these headlines for these reviews and I'm like, really? That seems a little over the top.
Oh, I agree with you on that. I'm not saying Nissan is paying anybody, but I think that there are brands like VinFast that did pay influencers to drive their vehicles. We were not paid to review a VinFast vehicle, and we're not paid by any automotive manufacturer at all. We would never accept any money because we can't give an honest review. And I think many of you who watch all of our reviews, you see that we're honest. I mean, we call manufacturers out on this. And then, we said the Land Cruiser, we did our Land Cruiser review, and we said that the 4-cylinder is buzzy. It's buzzy, and the cabin isn't that quiet. Well, get this. I saw Stephen Beatty. We both saw Stephen Beatty maybe about 4 days after the review came out.
He's the vice president of Toyota.
And he said to me, so I'm talking to him, we're, talking about whatever, and then he says, out of nowhere, so tell me about this buzzy 4-cylinder you were talking about. And I was like, Oh, he watches. And we're going to say it's buzzy because we think it's buzzy.
The knock we get is like we're flown all over the place to go and drive these vehicles, and it's a pay to play. Oh, well, they're taking you out for dinner and you're flying you and you're putting you up in a hotel. That's just the way the game is played.
Yeah.
And the reality is we are gone probably 100 days a year on these press events, except for Korea last week because we were in Korea. Often the week after we come home, we couldn't even tell you where we were the week before. It's all a blur. So like if you went on one media event a year or two media events a year, you'd be like, oh, this is amazing. But when you go on 40 and 50 a year, they're not that special.
No.
Like it's just part of the job. We got to get there. We got to do our work. We got to get the car review. We got to get home. We got to edit it. We got to put it out. And the bed and the meal is just something that is just part of the deal.
Yeah.
So it's not special. After you've done it for many, many years, jumping on and off airplanes, trust me, isn't fun. Being delayed in airports, stuck on airplanes, missing flights, all of that is part of it that you don't see. It's not glamorous.
Although very fortunate
Yeah,
to
we're
be
fortunate.
able to live the life that we have
I'm
and
not-
do what we do.
I know,
mean,
all
it's
I'm
a pretty
saying is
amazing job.
People say, oh, that influences the video. And it's
No.
like, no, it doesn't influence the video because it's just part of getting what we need to do the video.
And
we got to get there.
We got to get there. Here's the thing. If you're interested in this vehicle and we give it a glowing review and say everything is amazing, you're going to drive that vehicle and you're going to say, what were these guys smoking? The cabin is loud. I don't like this about it. I don't like that about it. There's always positives to a vehicle and there's always negatives. We've never met a vehicle yet that is perfect. There's always something that we don't like. So I think you have to give an honest review. And if these influencers, let's call them influencers, are being paid to review a vehicle, they probably haven't driven the competitors anyway, so they won't even know how to compare it. They would have no idea. They don't know a lot about the automotive world anyway.
Yeah, that's one of the problems. That's one of the reasons why Tesla always gives their vehicles to tech people.
Yeah.
Because they're not car people, they're tech people. And they buy into all the tech. And that's one of the reasons why early on they were so successful. And, good for them. It was smart. But, if you read the reviews from real auto people, they're very different than the ones that come from the tech people. But I'm with you. I'm seeing the same thing.
I haven't noticed that. I thought you were specifically talking about, automotive journalists on YouTube. But if this is interesting, if there are influencers being paid, which doesn't surprise me. I need to know what to buy, TX or Grand Highlander.
The one you can get.
Well, definitely not the Grand Highlander. You can't get that.
And the TX is stop sale as well.
Yeah, they're both TX. So here's the thing. Grand Highlander starts, I'm going to give Canadian numbers, so we're not going back and forth Canadian and US numbers, but it starts at 53,500 in Canada. I really don't think you can compare that XLE gas model to the base model TX, that 350 gas model. I mean, the interiors do not look the same. So in Canada, we don't have a platinum gas model, but we have a limited. So let's start with that pricing, limited model, which is 60,700 in Canada. Well, the TX starts at 72,000 or just over 72,000 in Canada. So that's already a big savings. That's $12,000. Then you look at the hybrid powertrain, and there's just no comparison. You've got the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max starting at over 68,000 Canadian, and if I'm not mistaken, it's around
don't look. I want to see if you got it right.
I think 84, just over 84,000 for the TX
Okay, go look now.
hybrid.
All right, see if you got it.
No, it's worse pricing.
Okay.
It's 87.5. I was giving them a little bit of a break there. Not
Okay.
84, so 87.5.
We did a comparison video, didn't we?
We did.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll put the link here, and we went through all of this because when you get into the top Grand Highlander, you get the Hybrid Max, but when you get into the base model of the TX, it's the regular gas model. And it makes no sense to get the TX over the Grand Highlander because you've got a better powertrain in the Grand Highlander. I think it's just as good on the inside, in my opinion.
The one I would get is the Grand Highlander Hybrid Max if you're looking at both. Wow, you're getting it for 68.5 in Canada compared to 87.5. The only thing I want to say,
I was
is
going to
if
say one thing.
you're-
You're not getting it. It's not for sale.
No, but eventually, let's say. The only thing is that the TX gas model gets a bench seat. And the Grand Highlander higher trims have captain's chairs. So I don't know if that's a factor for you because you need the extra seats. So that's something to keep in mind.
I think if you're in the TX snack bracket, try and get the top fully loaded Grand Highlander Hybrid Max, and you'll be happy.
If you could buy any compact SUV car right now, which would you choose? Top luxury and top non-luxury picks.
Okay, so I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna do non-luxury compact SUV.
Non-luxury compact SUV.
Top pick in 3, 2, 1.
RAV4
Hybrid. Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best bang for the buck. I think it's the best bang for the buck vehicle on the road, but you can't get one. And that's one of the reasons that it's the best selling passenger vehicle in North America is people want them. It's hybrid technology. It's bulletproof technology. I think it's great value.
And the best value for that hybrid is the XLE model. Just terrific. And that's what I love about the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid is that there are different prices for different budgets. If you want that top trim, go for it. If you don't have to get it. Get something less, but you still save at the pump.
All right, so now we're going to do compact car non-luxury.
Okay.
You ready? You got your pick? Compact car non-luxury in 3, 2, 1. Civic. Yeah. Independent rear suspension. Get the 2-liter engine. The hybrid is replacing the turbo. Haven't driven that one yet. So yeah, I think it's
There is one I'm interested in driving is
Nice.
the K4 that's coming up
Yeah.
because I thought it looked pretty cool.
But right now.
Civic.
Okay, now we're going to switch to luxury compact SUV. I got to think about this for a second. Compact luxury. Oh, I know what I'm going to choose. Compact luxury SUV. You ready? You got yours?
I do.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Macan.
X3. Oh, okay. Well,
Porsche Macan.
no, I'm still going to go X3.
Okay. Well, that would have been my second pick.
Macan's too small. That's too
But
compact.
it's good for me.
It's good for Andrea.
It's good for me.
I'll take the X3. Okay, so that one, we kind of agree on that one. All right, now we're going to go sedan. Compact luxury sedan. Okay, I got to think of all the cars here. Oh, I'm going to come out with one. You might not think of this one. You ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Lexus IS.
I like the Lexus IS, but I'm going Julia, and I am going in a dark green with that tan interior, and I'm not going to worry about reliability. I'm just going to drive it, and I'm going to love it.
Well, I went Lexus IS for the exact opposite reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely bulletproof reliability. Last of the naturally aspirated V6 engines. You can even get a V8 if you want. It'll just run and drive forever. That's it's not that big in the back seat though.
Not that big, but that's okay.
All right, so let us know what your choices would be. What would you pick?
Love to hear from you. Has the reliability of Hyundais increased? What would you say they rank in relation to Honda or Toyota?
I know Andrea looked it up.
I did look it up. So the JD Power, we'll do JD Power and we'll do Consumer Reports. The 2024 JD Power Dependability Study has got Toyota, number 2. Number 1 is Lexus. And then Honda in 19th spot. Mm-hmm. And Hyundai in 13th. So Hyundai's kind of dipped from the 2023 dependability study, but they have introduced new vehicles.
3-year-old cars. So these are based on 2021 cars. But we are seeing them moving up the ranks. They've had lots of issues in the past around reliability, engine failures, engines needing replaced, fires, all that kind of stuff. We're not hearing as much about that anymore, and every year they seem to be climbing up.
Much improved. And also Kia and Genesis is above Hyundai in that study. So I just think it's a lot of new vehicles came out for Hyundai. Consumer Reports, number 2, Toyota. Number 1 is Lexus. And then they've got Honda in 5th and Hyundai in 11th. So I would say that JD Power and Consumer Reports are pretty close, obviously, with Toyota and Hyundai. And Honda, they've put them up higher. Hello, I heard that Mitsubishi is going to have a new lineup in the North American market by 2030. Do you think the X-Force will replace the RVR? I'm curious to see what they can do to have a more aggressive lineup to compete here.
Well, the RVR is ancient, but the thing is, if people who own the RVR love them because apparently they're super easy to work on. They're super simple. They're cheap to buy, cheap to run, and easy to work on, and have proven to be quite reliable. But yeah, it's an aging fleet because you've got to remember that they have an alliance with Nissan. They're going to be pulling resources from that side of the family to make new products.
Yeah, and also Mitsubishi sells better in Canada than in the U.S. So, you know, it's tough. Our U.S. viewers will say, "Hey, I like the product, but I don't have a dealership near me." So they're limited in the U.S. So I didn't even know this, so thanks for the question. But Mitsubishi released a 5-year plan in Canada called Mitsubishi Momentum 2030 with an expanded vehicle lineup, including a blend of powertrains, which will include hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and EVs. One new or completely refreshed vehicle to debut each year between 2026 and 2030. Now, this is specific to Canada. I didn't see
It'll be the
anything
same
in
for
the
the
US, but
US.
I
It'll be the
assume
same, yeah.
it will be the North American market. They pitched this to Mitsubishi dealerships here, and I guess the feedback was they are really excited about the plans in place.
Yeah, you know why? Because the Outlander has been a massive hit. In Canada, the Outlander has been a huge success for the brand. It's resurrected the brand. It's bringing in a whole different buyer to the brand. Buyers with more money. They want the plug-in hybrid. So they're more affluent buyers. I mean, Mitsubishi was always like cheap and cheerful, long warranty, not like that's the RVR's world right there, the cheap and cheerful. But they can move the brand into more mainstream. So yeah, all of these cars are really old except for the Outlander.
And the Outlander interior really does feel quite upscale. Same interior really as the Rogue. So I think that Mitsubishi has done a really, really good job. So look forward to seeing what's to come from this brand. I'm kind of excited about this momentum plan.
The only way we can find out, Andrea, is we have to go to Japan.
Have to.
With Mitsubishi.
Have to.
First time I went to Japan was with Mitsubishi. It was a
Oh.
great trip. So hello.
I hope that we get to go back for the mobility show next year again.
Yeah, that'll be
usually in October. Anyway, that's it for us. If you want to get a question in, follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning, I put a post out on Instagram asking for questions. Once we gather them, the post is deleted and we start the show. Thanks for watching.
See you then.